Good afternoon. We are running late and we are running on the gods of time that are doing what they want with us. All right, let's see who is in here. I am showing there's nobody in here right now. So I'll give it a minute for some people to load up and let's see. Who we got? Who we got here? There is somebody in the room, just Rachel. I don't know, maybe some Rachel, I just called Simona and she said she's in there, but I can't get her on. It's not showing. Maybe Simona's like so super private. Maybe that's a thing. If not, what we're gonna do is we are going to have to. Here she is. Good afternoon. Yep, there's more. Here we go. It's connecting Simona. Mazel tov. Woo! Simona's frozen. Hello. The doctor is in the house. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test 129. Rachel, help us. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Simona Bartos. I can't, can you hear me, Rachel? All right.
I can see and I can hear you now.
And I can see and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
My beautiful.
Whew, hallelujah.
You know, all good things come to those who struggle, who wait, who try, and here we are.
Hi, Rachel.
All right. Welcome.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, we're a little bit late, so we'll have stragglers, we'll have replays, and I'm just going to get right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that face. That's a face dermatologist if I've ever seen.
Thank you so much.
I've seen you a lot of times. It's true. What do you always say? Always wear sunblock?
That's right. And then put some more on.
There you go.
Thank you so much for having me. I really
reels.
appreciate you. Yes.
I'm just thrilled to have you with your boards and your children and your travels and your hiking and your biking and all that good stuff. So let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
You are let's do it. Let's do this. You're a newly minted dermatologist. You're a newly minted dermatologist. And we are in the year 2021, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is this where you knew you were going to end up?
You know, honestly, about 15 years ago, if you had asked me this one question, I would have said anything but this. There was not a chance anywhere on earth or heaven that I was for sure going to medical school or that I was going to be a dermatologist or anything like that. So no, I did know maybe 10 years ago, but 15 years ago, completely off the books.
Where were you 2010?
So in 2010, I was here in Hollywood, Florida, working as a physician assistant, trying to do the best that I can. I felt very smart. I loved my patients. I was in family practice, actually, practicing medicine with Dr. Joshua Steiner there in Hollywood. But I was happy as a clam. I was content. I didn't dare to dream of going to medical school and becoming a dermatologist.
Didn't dare to dream.
Mm-hmm.
2000, how old were your kids then?
My kids, let's see, 2010. So they were, late teenagers, middle school and teenager, I would say. Yeah.
Didn't dare to dream.
No, I didn't have the courage to dream. My heart wanted to. My heart wanted to, but my mind would not allow me. I didn't think that I could reach that far. I really thought that it was out of my grasp.
Where are you originally from?
I'm Romanian, born and raised in Romania.
Right.
And some of your listeners may not know, but Romania is in Eastern Europe. It was a communist country for decades. And we had to relearn everything when we came to this beautiful country. We had to relearn how to think and how to view ourselves and our environment, and including governments and society and everything else. So it was like a rebirth when we came to the United States.
I want to
Complete.
dig into that word where you just said government and society. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that's where you didn't have the courage to dream or didn't dare to dream?
Mm-hmm.
Is that all connected?
100%. And in addition to government and society, um, as we know, and as I know your journey and many other people's rough beginnings, right? If we are born in a nurturing, supportive family, then at least you get that courage to dream from your parents. But if you are born in many of the other families where um, the parents do love you and help you as much as they can, but they themselves may not have the tools to empower you to dream any bigger than they have accomplished. So so you can only reach as far as that because you don't know what else is out there, and you don't know that you could be that person to break that barrier and to do more.
When did you come over?
I was 19.
You were just married to John, right?
I was engaged. Yes,
Okay.
we got married here. Hmm.
So you're 19 years old. The two of you roll up to the USA from a communist country.
Right.
I think I know this about you. You got pregnant like super fast, right?
Yes, so we get married at 19. We go in our honeymoon. I get pregnant in the first week of my marriage. And exactly 9 months later, we have our beautiful son.
Who,
Who? Wait,
by
wait, wait. Tell it.
with you.
Uh-huh.
This is
Who's,
like the craziest
I
thing.
know.
He even
I
said to me,
know.
movie. I said, that's not a movie. That's my friend Simona. That's real life. So 19 years later, you get pregnant, you come to America. I mean, talk about full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy to me is in 21 years, literally. So you came here, was it the year 2000? 1990?
No, it was 93.
Okay, so 19. Oh, right, he's that older.
92. Yes,
I'm
yes.
just trying not to give your age away. You're
No, it's okay. I am proud of my age and my life. I have nothing to hide.
so beautiful. You,
Thank you.
especially body positivity mindset here at Velvet Hammer. You are just like, what's the secret? Sunblock, sunblock, sunblock. So I love that you own that. So you come to this country, you're 19 years old, you get married, you get pregnant. And then I say to you, 10 years ago, you
Uh-huh.
dared to dream. You wouldn't have had the courage. So let's go to 2000, the year
Mm-hmm.
2000. So 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you've got two little kids running around.
Yep.
At that point, you had gone through some personal challenges as well in raising and having the family.
Mm-hmm.
What's life looking like? You're working full time and John's working full time. You're gonna do this American dream thing, even if it kills you guys.
Right.
Raising a son and a daughter.
Uh-huh.
So when did this shift happen? When did you grow a set of balls? When,
I grew them slowly over time, but I tell you,
the
uh,
best kind, the best.
slowly, slowly over time. Um, when I first started going to college, when my son was about a year and a half year old, I started going to college because I've always wanted to study and to make something of myself, right? But I did not know if I'm smart. I did not know if I would be good at whatever I pursue, or if I would have the determination to do it, because I had never done those things in my life before. So I didn't know that I'm smart. I didn't know that I would love medicine, right? So exactly, no, because these are dreams that if you have never experienced them before, you just don't know. It was like my first time discovery. So going to college, I realized that I'm smart. I realized that I enjoy learning and that I enjoy always being among students and among professionals. So as I got degree after degree, I realized that this is not my ceiling, that I can do more, that I can continue to push the limits. So in 2003, I graduated with a physician assistant degree from Nova, and I started working. I worked for 3 years in general surgery and trauma at Memorial, and then I moved to family practice. And pretty soon, in about a couple of years, I realized that, wait, this is still not the ceiling for me. I can do more. I want to do more. I want to reach the top of my medical career. And that was the beginning of the dream. That's when I knew that I had to go back to medical school and to get my full degree and to be a doctor, and that I would be good at it. Now I knew. I was 37 years old when I knew. It took me that long. So you may have known at 17, or your friend may have known at 15. It took me 37 years to know that I can do it, that I'm smart enough, that I deserve the try. No guarantees, but that I should do it. 37 years.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Because if you look at that timeline, you came here at 19 and you
Mm-hmm.
entire other life. And the fact that it took you so long, because you did get your PA from and you started school in 2000,
Right.
when your son was a year and a half. I'm doing a little timeline here on my pen and paper. And then at 37, you said dermatology.
I'm
Wow.
doing it all over again. Right.
Did you? So
Um,
I also want to say it's obvious that you had a burden of a family, because you weren't like, okay, bye, feed yourself
right.
to them out. And being that you do come from a very cultural home, your children were
Right.
your all that stuff. So when did you decide this is the time? And at what point did you look at your son, or he looked at you, and you were both like, we're going to do this? When did that happen?
Well, it's funny because in my late 30s, like I said, working as a PA, when the thought started gnawing on me that I want to do it, that I should do it, I did have the conflict in my heart as a mother, right? You have two young children at home. Should you dedicate your life to raising them and be there for them 24/7? Or is it okay to pursue a selfish desire, ambition, and do something that you really, really want? And then the second question was, what is the best timing for it? When the kids were young, as you may know, and as any mother knows, that mother guilt really holds you back from 90% of your dreams, because your heart and love is for the children. So then I thought, now that the kids are older, but before I get too old, this is the moment to do it, right? So I timed it in such a way where my son was starting high school, he was driving, he was becoming more independent and helping with his sister. And then I said, this is my moment. This is my window of opportunity.
Tell
But yeah,
me.
it's a lot of emotions. The mother guilt, the responsibility of the family, coming from a traditional background where we as women, we know that our families come first. So that's a tough one.
So wait, what? So one sec. So when, if you started when he was going into high school, when did he jump on that bandwagon and join you in college? What happened? When did that happen?
So I think that I shared my dream with my kids so obsessively that it became part of their dream. So I remember, like, When I was in PA school, I brought home the skeleton, right? They give you a skeleton in a box, and you're supposed to bring home the bones. We put them out in the living room on the living room floor, and then my son and I put the skeleton back together. Okay, where does the humerus go? Where does the finger go? So we were learning the bones and putting the skeleton back together. And I think my love for medicine was shared with them inadvertently, that it became his dream. And in high school, at this point, he wanted to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. So, you know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, just go to the top. Why stop midway, right? So I felt like as I'm starting this journey, I'm going to help him in his journey, and we're going to do it together. So this was one of our bonding experiences. And I was very fortunate that he actually trusted me and listened to me every step of the way. And he took the advice as if I'm a cool mom. Like he really trusted me.
You
So
are.
thank
You're.
you. Kids.
I you know that. I've seen. So let me. I really am supposed to move on to my question number 4, but but I just
Hi.
say the journey of not having, and this strikes me because I don't know you as that person. So for anybody joining us now, you know, Dr. Simona said, I didn't dare. I didn't have the courage to dream. I didn't have the courage to dream. And then you said it took you 37 years. But I want to say it took you 37 years, 2 children, a marriage, immigrating to the United States, learning a new language, figuring out if you were smart at school, and then you had the courage to dream.
Right.
So, I don't know if you've really expounded on this, but why dermatology?
I was very fortunate to have a dear mentor and friend, Dr. Julian Moore, who took me aside as I was studying for the MCAT, which is the big exam that we have to take when we go to medical school. And he told me all of the reasons why I should do dermatology, how it's a great balance between the surgical and the medical, how you work with your hands, you fix people with your bare hands, you diagnose their skin conditions. I'm a very visual learner, so when I see a rash or a mole or something that I can see and touch with my eyes and hands, I really come alive. But most importantly, he told me why I could do it. So dermatology, as you may know, is one of the most coveted fields of medicine. Um, and it's almost impossible to get in, right? It's really, statistically, you have 0 chances of getting in, like 1 in a million, right? But he is the kind of person that told me why I could get in, why I am good enough, and he taught me exactly every step of the way why I should do it. And that taught me a very important lessons, that you should not listen to the naysayers, because you will have 10 of your friends telling you all of the reasons why something cannot be done, why you're not going to be the one winning or succeeding. That's why you need to tune everybody out and really hang out with the one person who has done it, who can tell you that you can do it and show you the way, right? If you want to build a successful business, you don't talk to people that have failed in every business, right? You talk to the ones that have succeeded so they can teach you and encourage you. And that's what I found in Dr. Moore. He showed
Thank
me the way, and
you.
had great mentors for that. 100%.
It's so crazy. I was just going to ask you, what is the lesson you learned? And my note is hang out with the one person who has
Right.
succeeded. So Sean is saying hello, doctor. Let's see who else we've got in here.
Hi, Sean.
Saying hello. Lizbeth is here. Hey, girl.
Hi, beautiful.
Hey, Rachel's here. And whoever else has been popping in and out. Remember, there's always a replay. We'll have this replay up. So I'm so floored, and I want to respect the time. So I'm going to tighten it up in here and say, in this crazy journey of these lives, I feel that. So can I ask let me ask one question.
Of
So
course.
how old were you when you became a doctor? Can you answer that?
Yes, I became a doctor in 2016. So that is 5 years ago. I was 43. Girl power.
Like me finishing the ultra marathon, number 61 in my age group, and the last finisher was number 61. But
That's
you know what? There
awesome.
were 140 people that didn't finish.
Exactly. You're a finisher. You run with the winners and you finish with the winners.
Running with the winners and finishing with the winners. I absolutely love it. Dr. Simona, this is going to be a hard question because I point that out. You have immigrated to a new country from a communist country. You were 19 years old and you were engaged to a man from that country. It was two of you. You were pregnant a week after your wedding. Children. So this question is, what are the 3 challenges that you feel shaped you the most? Can you point to 3?
Well, for me personally, it was growing up without the guidance and the support that would have shown me that I am valuable and capable. So when you come from that place where you just don't feel that, you don't know that, you have to birth it like brand new. You have to invent it. You have to manifest it alone, maybe with a friend or a spouse or a husband, in my case, and with your faith, I think. So I think it takes birthing and developing of that new person. So I feel like I had to be born again into a new life with a new mindset to really be able to be and become, not that I am, to become a person that is capable and worthy and lovable, right? Lessons that if you're fortunate, you learn when you're young, or if you're not, you learn as you're older and you parent yourself, to really become that person that you want to be.
That's beautiful. Was that 3 or was that the 1?
I don't know. How much time do you have?
Well, so the first challenge that really formed you was that you were raised without love, but you rebirthed yourself. That's intense. That's intense. There's a lot of love in here, and you were speaking, but Sean asked me to repeat something, and I don't remember where that was. He said, "I love that. Can you say that again?" We're gonna have to rewind it because there's been so many great things being said. So, is there another challenge? And what I love though is that challenge to you today is still so strong. You're very aware, but you don't hold on to any bitterness or resentment for not being raised lovingly.
Well, I
Instead,
think that our parents do the best that they can, right? And now being older and you understand their circumstances, you understand that every human being does the best that they can with what tools they have, right? So if you have not experienced love and acceptance, how can you manifest love and acceptance, right? If you have not been, nobody cheered you on, how can you cheer somebody on? You just don't know that emotion. You don't know that behavior. So I'm able to look at my own family with more understanding than I did when I was younger, right?
it's like you and John said, we commit to raise healthy children. We commit to leave our past behind. And you two are still
Kicking it.
biking it. Those two guys, I mean,
I know.
so impressive. Sean remembered what you said. You said something about running with the winners, and it was good. You said do you remember what you said?
I think you run with the winners and you finish with the finishers, right?
You
And
run with the winners and you finish with the finishers.
right, like in cycling, I'm a cyclist. If some of you don't know, but in cycling, when there's a breakaway, so there's the peloton, and there's a couple of guys that sometimes break away, and your tendency is to stay in the peloton where you're safe, where you have cover, and you are never hanging out by yourself to be dropped possibly. But what we have to learn mentally is that you jump with the jumpers. And when there's a train coming, you jump on the train. You can always slow back down. You can always fall back in the peloton, but run with the runners, jump on the train. When in doubt, move forward, and then you can always fall back. But that's so counterintuitive, right? Because we want to do the safe thing. We want to like take care of ourselves and be safe, but you got to go for it.
I love it. I don't even want to know your two other challenges because you just dropped so. And isn't it crazy though how you are a cyclist? Like, ladies and gentlemen, she has the whole gear, the whole tushy thing, and all the face sunblock. You don't, and look at her, and she lives in Florida. Amazing. But we can't be stuck in front of a computer. We can't be stuck in front of a medical book. We always say, if you don't fill up your cup, then you can't pour for another. So the fact that, you lean into cycling strategy to complete medical school, into the 1%, the 1 in a million coveted derma positions, and you have options. And at the end, if you want, you could share what's coming for you and the fam. But you were picked up in 2 seconds. You have a personal clientele. We can't keep you. We can't give you a minute for yourself, but the fact that you feed your body, your faith, your family, you keep filling up your cups. And that's why you always look so well rested, even though I know you're not sleeping that much. So I have a little bit of not to be negative, but if you're comfortable sharing, do you have any regrets? Is there stuff that you can say, I wish I did different? Because my thing is, from here on forth, the last 2 years, no regrets, because I got so busy screwing up in my 20s, spending most of my 30s regretting my 20s, and only in my 40s did I say, fuck it, I forgive myself, I'm going to start over, and I'm going to live with no regrets. So now I've come to accept my regrets, like you say, and say, okay, this happened, never again. So are there any things that you can look back at and say, coulda, shoulda, I would have done it differently?
So I don't have like specific regrets that I can point to, but my regrets are psychological. So I grew up being a good girl, right? We did not mess up. My sister and I were good girls, right? But we lived in our head. I live in my head, right? Way too long. Being in here, replaying the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and everything else in my head. And now I regret having done that for so long. I think that we spend way too much time thinking and worrying what other people think, how they feel, if they like us or not, if they think we're good enough or not, or if we make them comfortable or not. And I know for a fact that most people don't give a crap about any of that. I know many of my male colleagues, for example, doesn't even cross their mind when they walk in a room if they make me comfortable, right? But it crosses my mind. I am so in tune with their feelings, with their comfort level, that I'm such a pleaser. And that's a regret. That's a wasted energy on people that don't really mean that much to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think we need to clean up our minds. I need to slow down my mind and just look at what's in front of me. If I'm talking to a person, that's the person in front of me. It's not whoever wrote me a comment yesterday, or somebody wrote me an email, or somebody may be upset. It doesn't matter. So it's such a wasted energy, and life is short, right? And you have, like you were saying about your cup, you only have so much. If you spend it on wasted crap, you have nothing left to give. So I'm doing better at that now. But that's one big regret, of being too much into my head.
You know what strikes me so strongly with you, and I love that, because it's not a regret, oh, I ate too much candy, now I'm mad. It's true. Let's stop let's twist up the behaviors and be
Mm-hmm.
encouraged. But one time, so I love taking pictures of people. So every time, like, I'll pop over to Simone, I'll be like, "Ooh, you're in your cool scrubs. I'm gonna take." So I had you stand in front of this beautiful tree in front of your house, and I said to you, I said, think of the girl that was 18 years old, and you went somewhere, and then I said to you, I said, did that girl ever think she would be here? Because I love capturing a photo of a person when they're in a space.
Mm.
And your face said, your whole face went somewhere, and you said, never. I never
Mm-hmm.
dreamt this would be my life.
Right.
And it brings
Yes.
me to the most powerful words you said today. I didn't dare to dream. I didn't have the courage to dream.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel very blessed to have had the opportunity, you know, and the support to really um, to become to become this new person.
On that note of that, because I'm just reading my questions, and we're not doing terrible on time. I thought it was like 8 o'clock at night at this point. I feel like there's almost 3 chapters to you. I feel there's the growing up in a communist country,
Mm-hmm.
the coming to America, and Lord knows what you went through, because it is very challenging to be in a new country, in a new language. And I'm not talking about, Spanish and English, you figure it out. We're talking across the country, like you said, a new
Mm-hmm.
government, a new society. And then I feel there's part 3, when the kids were old enough to drive,
Uh-huh.
when you hit the books again, when I feel maybe you guys were able to start breathing, like
Mm-hmm.
that's part 3. If there was a message you can tell to these 3 women, right? So let's go to Simona back in Romania. If there's a message you can tell a girl at any age, or a man, or a human, a person that's looking to cross the pond and make massive changes, what would you tell that person?
Wow, that's a very deep question. I would definitely say don't ever take no for an answer, ever. If you can break through that perceived barrier, if there's a way for you to think outside the box, and there's always a way. This is one good thing I learned from my mother, that there's always a way around the problem, and you should never take no for an answer. And you will find your breakthrough. You just have to come at it with such a speed, at such a velocity, to be able to break through. Don't come shy. Don't come and push the ceiling to see, like, oh, where's the ceiling? Let me find out where it is. No, forget the ceiling. You didn't put it there. It's not your ceiling.
It's
You
not
need
yours.
to gain such a velocity so when you hit that ceiling, you have that escape speed. Okay. So whatever you're doing, whether you're coming to a different country, or a new career, or a new skill that you're wanting to learn, you have to equip yourself in such a way so that when you are getting close to that ceiling, it's not nobody's going to be able to slow you down.
Velocity, momentum.
Velocity, absolutely. And you have to, like, over prepare, right? So when I went to medical school, because I was older and I'm an immigrant and I'm a woman and all of the above that could have worked against me, right? I over prepared so much. I'm such a nerd. I can sit and study with my books for 12 hours because I don't take anything for granted. I think you have to over prepare and gain that speed. So when you do show up for your test, for your exam, for your interview, they won't be able to stop you. They won't. They'll be like, there she goes.
I'm not
you
telling her.
know, that's right. Like, oh, we tried to stop her, but she's gone.
All right,
You
so the
know,
second part of the question, Simona 2.0, what will
mm,
you tell to maybe a mom who
mm,
maybe isn't at the point? So the first one was, don't take no for an answer and over prepare, velocity, speed, crush.
mm-hmm,
Hit that ceiling without pause. Go.
right.
If you were to tell, let's go to Simona 2.0, 20, to 40, raising,
Uh-huh.
not daring to dream, what would be a word of advice to somebody in that area, in that space in their life?
Probably the number one thing I would say is stop feeling guilty. Stop it. Enough. Enough is enough. You love your children as best that you can.
And
You
your
love
and your dogs and your career, every.
you love your spouse as best as you can. You do for them as much as you can. And you do for yourself as much as you can. And you have to keep yourself happy. But spending energy on guilt and on replaying everything in your head, just you gotta stop.
I love it. And
You gotta stop.
the final one. What do you tell to that woman who may have finally found the courage to dream, who may have crushed the barriers in the ceiling, who may have, to what us may seem like and feel like, have it together?
Uh-huh. Right.
What do you say now?
I would say, girl, you don't need balls anymore because you got you. Seriously. I feel that I am in a stage in life now where I have the time and the energy to parent myself. I don't have children to parent anymore. I don't have those responsibilities. So I can take the little girl, Simona, and I can be her mother. And I can tell her that it's going to be okay, that she's safe. So it's me time in the sense of I am the mother, and the little girl that needed the mother is integrated now. She's safe, she's cared for, and we are okay.
I feel that for us to truly love ourselves, we have to put in the work of the 1.0 and the 2.0. Because this 3.0, people are loving. Somebody said, yes, all done with raising children over here. She said, hallelujah. I feel that if you don't do that first step, if you don't learn how to take no for an answer, if you don't learn to stop feeling guilty, you're never going to truly be able to give yourself the self-love.
Right.
Because you're so busy fixing everyone and worrying about everyone all the damn time. Whew. Girl, you need to start writing a book. Now this one, and this is for everybody in here, and we're going to let you go get your Friday night party on after this. I suggest you take a pen. I did prepare you for this one. What are Simona's 5 simple steps to success? And I didn't tell you this in my note to you, but it can include, at the end, you can give us free skincare advice, which is ladies, don't leave home, and gentlemen and people, don't leave home without sunblock, or she will come find you. She will cycle and find your ass. So what are Simona's 5 simple steps to success?
Oh dear. Well, I didn't write them down, and I think we mentioned a couple of my big things. One of my biggest values, I would say, that I try to impart to my children was to have balance. And by balance, I mean even time-wise balance. So you should not work more than full time. You should exercise a few times a week. You should not eat too much, not drink too much. You should not see your girlfriend too much. You should. So everything in moderation. So when my son was in high school and he had his first girlfriend, he wanted to see every day, 7 days a week, 24/7. I said, no, you're going to see each other in the weekend. So moderation. I think moderation is one of my biggest values and strategies for success. We mentioned don't take no for an answer.
I love that one.
We mentioned stop overthinking, right?
Wait,
If
stop
if
thinking.
you look in the mirror and you're happy with who you are when you're by yourself, then it's okay, right? You don't have to impress anybody else. If you're okay with yourself when you're by yourself, then you're okay.
Stop overthinking. Don't take no for an answer. Balance. Stop feeling guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to throw in number 5. Run with the winners. Run with the winners and finish with the.
Run with the runners and finish with the finishers.
I think we changed it to run with the winners, finish with the winners, or run with the runners and finish with the winners. But basically, we're all
Just
winners.
do it.
Basically, all you got to do is just run and don't stop.
Don't stop.
And don't breathe, because this truly is, I want to commend you. This is a life well lived. You know, this is a time, this is a human being who could have taken 2 paths very easily and chose the harder path. You chose the path full of obstacles. Was it worth it?
My heart goes out to the people that did not choose it. And I do feel their pain, because equally well, a person coming from my background and your background, and many of our listeners, are not able to put it together, and my heart goes out to them.
I have a journal here, and it's 101 things to do before your bucket list. And the concept behind it, and it's actually a guy from Australia came up with a concept. He lost his friend very suddenly, like brutally, to cancer, and they were in their 20s, and he was like, wait, haven't done anything. So he came up with this concept, and I think he's on Instagram, 101 things to bucket list. I bought the journal, and a friend of mine came in and she said, can I look at it? And it's like a little personal. It's really cool. So you have an idea, you put down your before, then after you do it, you're like, who did I go with? How did I do it? Da, da, da. It's so cool. So I don't have 101 yet. And I've got like, open a doggy rescue ranch and collect, jump out of, do a hot air balloon. Then I've got Greece. Then I've got St. Sebastian in Spain. And I've got my Montana ranch that I'm going to for my birthday next month, and Arches State Park. And what the idea is to put it out there, and then you have an after page, right? And so somebody was here in my home, and she said, can I look at it? And I said, yes. And she's like, because I'd raved to anyone, look, I got this new journal. And she put it down. She goes, oh, I never had dreams. This journal wouldn't work for me. And I felt like crying.
Right.
I would rather eat toast and cheese, and I love my food. I'm a foodie. I would rather eat that and feast with my eyes for the rest of my life, you know. And congratulations on choosing the harder path. Congratulations on smashing what you say, not my ceiling. I'm smashing it. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you, Dr. Simona Bartos.
Thank you, my dear. And if anyone knows about the hard path and about taking down barriers and breaking those chains of restriction that may be real or just in our minds, that's you. I mean, your recent marathon was an absolute inspiration to me as I followed your journey and your badass behavior. I'm sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, we said badass.
That was really inspirational. So my hat is off to you.
You know, and let's just be real. If you want to break barriers, the only way to do it is by living it. You know, I find that in this day and age, people are very strong behind a screen. You know, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's so valid. But if you're not putting yourself through the work, you're not breaking the barriers. You know, and I've witnessed your journey, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm honored to call you a friend for your time. And I want to thank you for showing us that learning what you want to do in your passion at 37 is beyond perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. I'm against perfect. It's beyond acceptable and more than.
Absolutely.
That's number one. Daring and having the courage to dream is not just a thing. We all struggle with that. But the first thing is giving yourself permission to have the courage to dream. And
100%.
anything is possible. If a girl from Romania can come to this country at 19 years old, engaged. So again, technically, it could have gone one way, and here you are. Look at those beautiful awards behind.
You're very kind. Thank
I'm
you.
I'm not kind. I'm calling it. It's real. Look at those awards. Your skin. This is art and makes it. But I know it's not. Simona Bartos, I am honored and humbled by your presence. Thank you. Look at all the love in this group chat. We will be posting it on Instagram. We'll pop it onto YouTube. You're going to be my first Velvet Hammer YouTube video. I love you, girl. Thank you for supporting Velvet Hammer. To everyone out there, please be safe. Wash your hands. Wear sunblock. And have a blessed weekend.
It was a pleasure. Take care.
Thank you, Simona.